So, got some news to bring you guys regarding Arvid Lindblad, someone who is absolutely tearing Formula 2 up right now, and he's a Red Bull junior. Now, Red Bull have apparently put an application in to allow the youngster to get an exemption when it comes to driving a Formula 1 car. Of course, to drive a Formula 1 car, you need a super license, and to get a super license, you have to be 18 years of age. And now Lindblad, believe it or not, is just 17 years of age. Now, you'll remember a similar situation arose last season when there were rumours about Kimi Antonelli making his Formula 1 debut to replace Logan Sargent at Williams. Of course, that never happened, but there were reports that Mercedes were putting applications in to make an exemption for him because at that time, he was only 17. Now, of course, Lindblad is effectively the next driver on the conveyor belt for Red Bull, but he's not old enough currently to replace one of the RB or one of the Red Bull drivers if one of them are unavailable, whether it is injury or in the case of Max Verstappen, suspension. Of course, Verstappen is one super license penalty point away from getting a suspension. He's on 11 out of 12. And in theory, if he gets a penalty at some point during the Canadian or Austrian Grand Prix, he could miss a race this season. So therefore, someone would have to take his place. Lindblad is that guy. Now, of course, at the moment, Lindblad is not old enough to qualify for a super license. He's only 17 years of age. So Red Bull have put an application into the FIA for them to make an exemption for the British youngster. So let's have a look at what's happened here, guys. Full article on the F1chronicle.com as always. Arvid Lindblad could soon be on the Formula 1 grid. Red Bull sent the British-Swedish teenager to race in New Zealand over the winter to collect the final points he needed to qualify for an F1 super license. The only missing piece now, though, is special dispensation from the FIA because the rules stipulate at 17 you can't qualify. Arvid Lindblad has the points for a super license, but he doesn't turn 18 until September, Dr. Helmut Marko recently said. That is why we are currently applying to the FIA for an exemption, which Kimi Antonelli got. The Telegraph newspaper reports that the FIA's World Motorsport Council will review the Lindblad licence application next Tuesday. The Dutch newspaper added Red Bull is responding to a possible suspension of Max Verstappen. Just one more penalty point to his own super licence next week in Canada will mean the four-time world champion will have to sit out Red Bull's home race in Austria around the Red Bull Ring. He can't commit any fences over the next 2 weekends, Marko confirmed to Speed Week, and of course he'll be told not to do anything rash. It would be catastrophic if he couldn't start in Austria, but we don't expect that to happen because it's certainly not the case that Max does something wrong in every race. After Austria, the first penalty points will be removed. That's true. Two of them will be removed after the 30th of June, the final day of the month. So it's only these two races where it will be affected, but as we've seen, Max Verstappen unfortunately can lose his cool in the car. If Verstappen is banned for a race, the most likely scenario is that Red Bull will promote Isaac Hadjar from the Racing Bulls and replace him with Lindblad. Lindblad has had a strong performance in Formula 2, Marko noted. He won the feature race in Barcelona, thus celebrated his second victory of his rookie season. If he continues like this, we can expect him to move up to Formula 1. He may only be 17 years old, but he's also a tremendous talent. 100%. He's a really talented youngster. Really is. Honestly, he's incredible. The stuff that he can do in that car, it's so young, so inexperienced. Fantastic, really. Really impressive. But yeah, there is always a case of too much too soon. So I wouldn't like to see him get kind of drawn up by the Racing Bulls team just yet. I want to see him, potentially win the championship in F2 or come close to doing so. Then I think he's earned it. But, right now, it's pretty early in the season still in F2. Long way to go. But your thoughts in the comments below, guys, because some people have been saying that this was an application that was put in a long time ago. This isn't a recent one in reaction to Max Verstappen. It's one that Red Bull are very much forward planning because who is their reserve driver right now? They don't really have one, I don't think. I think Lindblad is that driver, but he can't compete during Formula 1 Grand Prix because he doesn't have a super license yet. So yeah, would you like to see Lindblad get a call up to RB? I want to hear what you have to say in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, and have a fantastic day. Wherever you're on the world today, guys, and we'll see you very soon.